want to take this Monday morning to teach you how to think more usefully, more practically, and going from knowledge to wisdom. And I want to credit Scott Adams for this. He's the one who, both personally and like through his content, but also through his relationship with me, working with him on his recent books. This, I believe, is how he thinks, or at least I'm going to say this is how I think he thinks. So here we go. People will often say this is going to happen, or that's going to happen, or we're going to do this, or we're going to do that. They do a lot of, let's say, projecting out into the future, what they want to happen, what they think will happen, what they're going to do, these sorts of things. And you can cut through hopes, you can cut through copes, you can speak truth, and you can speak power to truth with one little question. And it goes like this. Blah, 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 blah. They say, we're going to do this. This is going to happen. This is the plan. We're going to blah, blah, blah. They're going to blah, blah, blah. We feel this way. Blah, 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 blah. And then you say, what are the likeliest consequences of that? Or, alternatively, if you had to bet, what's probably going to happen? What are the odds that that's going to happen? Questions like that. My favorite version is, what are the likeliest consequences of that? Or what are the likeliest outcomes of that, depending on if it's like a business thing or if like it's a personal thing. What this does is it causes people to think beyond feelings and go to probabilities. This is something that you kind of get a sense of how Scott views the world through the God's Debris Complete Works trilogy. And it also gets people to think, instead of black or white, nuance-free zones of their thinking, you allow people to go in terms of odds. So what if someone says, oh, there's probably a 40% chance this horrible thing will happen if you do that? Oh. It's a think past the sale technique, but it also is probably a good sale. Like it's a good purchase, if you know what I mean. They go, oh, is it 40%? I hadn't thought of that actually being anywhere close to likely. Can you say more? So it gets people out of certainty, because most people are certain about most things when they ought not be. And Scott's probabilistic based thinking of what are the odds, risk management. It might go back to when I think he was underwriting loans, if I remember correctly, when he used to work at the bank. But he was thinking in terms of risk profiles for individuals. And by the way, that's ultimately why he persuaded me not to get the thing. Risk profile, risk management, pros, cons. What are the likeliest potential outcomes? What are those unbearable outcomes that still have some odds that for you, they're too high, for example? And so I made a decision based on that. And most of what we do in life has a known probability if you simply reason out what are the factors involved, what are the variables, what's the most likely outcome. And then you realize, oh, if you change your behavior, if you change the inputs, you can potentially change the outputs, or the odds of them, or the probabilities of them. If you begin to think in terms of probabilities and the odds, what are the likeliest outcomes, and if you can assign numbers that you can defend, or that are defensible, or that are sensible, you will be closer to what will actually happen. Isn't that what you want?